Everybody, welcome back to another fun and exciting Algebra 1 class. Today we are going to do lesson 10.6, the Box and Whisker Plots. Well, what in the world is a Box and Whisker Plot? Well, I'm glad you asked because we are going to find out today. So today's your lucky day. This is another one of those ones that you don't really hear about a lot. You've probably never seen it before. You probably never used it before. But it is very useful in the business world, especially. And so I want to teach it here so that you can understand it when you do see it in the future. All right, Box and Whisker. Here's really what it boils down to. It boils down to what's called the 5-number summary. If you will look on page 370, you will see that listed, the 5-number summary. I've got it written down here on the screen. The 5-number summary is exactly what it sounds like. It's 5 numbers that summarize. Okay, what is it summarizing? Well, it's summarizing the list of numbers, the big list of numbers. So you're taking 5 key numbers and you're giving a summary of all of the numbers. It's like in English, when you read this big long book and your teacher asks you to give a summary. You're just hitting the key points. You're just hitting the main ideas of the story. You can't retell the story. The summary is not the same length as the book, okay? The summary is much, much shorter than the book. Same thing here. We're going to take all the numbers and we're going to summarize them down into 5 simple, compact numbers. The first number that we're going to be using is what's called the minimum number. That is the smallest number. Whatever number on the list is the littlest number, that is the first one. That's the easy one. Check out number 5. Number 5 is the maximum number. That's the biggest number. So 1 and 5 are really easy. I love 1 and 5, okay? Now, these ones are a little bit different, but they're not hard. I think this word right here is the word that kind of throws you off. You think, oh, I've never seen that word before, so that must be hard, okay? The word is quartile. Okay? Quarter. Maybe you've heard that before, okay? A quarter, 25 cents. And so what does that mean? A quarter is 1/4 of something. And so what these are going to do is these are going to cut the pieces into quarters, basically. So you have the first quartile, the second quartile, and the third quartile. Okay, here's the way it works. It's really simple. You take the median of the first half of the set. So you cut the set in half, take the median of the first half. That's the first quartile. You cut it in half, and so you take the median of the second half. That's the third quartile. The median of the whole set, so all of the numbers together, or the middle number, okay, that's median, remember the middle number, that is going to be the second quartile. It's not as hard as you think, trust me, okay? When we do one, you'll be like, oh, okay, no problem. All right, I'm going to even teach you a couple little tricks here that might make you be able to do it just a little bit faster. All right, here, let's look at this set of numbers. Ooh, that's a big set of numbers. So it starts with one. Here's the great thing about that set of numbers. They've already ranked it, okay? I've taught you what rank means, right? Maybe not. Let me teach you what rank means right now. Okay, rank. To rank something, it means to put it in order. Okay, if it's ranked, it's put in order from smallest to largest. The military has ranks. Okay, you enter the military and you're a private, first class, first rank. I mean, you're at the bottom of the pile. And as you go up, you get to be, a lieutenant, and you get to be captain, and you get to be general, and then you get to be 4-star general, and there's all these different rankings. And the higher you go, the bigger guy you are, the higher your rank is. Okay, when you first start, you're a little guy with a small rank, and other people can tell you what to do. Well, it's the same thing here with the numbers. They're ranked. They're put in order. 169 is the smallest one. 348 is the largest one. Now, this in your book, if you're looking, this is these are the weights of professional football players. So the scrawniest guy on the team was 169 pounds. He's probably the kicker, okay? Yeah, it's usually the lightest weight guy on the team. This over here is the big dude who is like the offensive lineman or the defensive nose tackle. All right, he's the big boy, and he's in charge of keeping you away from his quarterback or making, blocking for the running back that's coming through. So these are all football players. They all have different jobs. Okay, you would not want to put this little guy here into this guy's job. That would not work out very well. You also probably would not want to put this guy at this guy's job. It probably also would not work out very well for him. He's probably not extremely flexible and does not kick the ball very far. So they all have their jobs, whatever their position is, whatever their place is. And so they have different weights, different sizes to accommodate that job on the field. All right, so here's the list. Here's all the players on the football team. What we want to do is we want to put these guys into a box and whisker plot. You say, what in the world is that? Okay, I haven't gotten there yet. I'm still talking about the key to the box and whisker, which is the 5-number summary. So let's go and let's start our 5-number summary. Let's start with the easy ones. Let's do the minimum, 169. That's the minimum, and 348. That's the maximum. Okay? So we're done with those. We just got those out of the way. Now we need to find the first quartile, the second quartile, and the third quartile. Okay? How are we going to accomplish that? Well, let's go back up to it. I like to find the second one first. I feel like that's the easier one because that's the median of the entire set. So here's what we need to do. We need to cut this set in half somehow. Well, they're in order, so what we need to do is we need to count how many total things are in the set. Well, I'm going to save you some time right here, and I'm not going to count for you. There are 66 pieces in that set, 66 numbers. So let me show you a way to get to the middle of that 66. If you do 66 plus 1 divided by 2, that will put you in the middle of a set. Let me show you. So if I have a set of 3 numbers, so let's do a set of 5. 5, 7, 9, 11, and 15. If I say, okay, I have 5 numbers, and I do 5 plus 1 divided by 2. 5 plus 1 is 6, divided by 2 is 3. The third number is the middle of that set. That's how to do it, okay? Now, let's go back up to this big set. We have 66 pieces, so how are we going to find the middle? 66 plus 1 divided by 2, so 67 divided by 2. 67 divided by 2 comes out to an odd number, so it comes out, or it is an odd number, it comes out to a decimal number. So it gives us 33.5. Well, what do we do with 33.5? Well, that means that there's 2 middle numbers. That means that 33 is a middle number and 34 is a middle number. So we would go to those 2 numbers, and I'm not going to count them for you, but you'd count. So 1, 2, 3, okay? And I'll just skip down there. The 33 and 34 are 238 and 239, okay? So the middle of this thing is right here between these 2. So this one is part of the first set. This one is part of the second set, okay? But we're going to take these 2 and we're going to average them, and that's going to tell us our second quartile. All right, so 238 plus 239, basically that's going to be 238.5. So that's our second quartile, 238.5. Okay, let me erase some of this stuff so you can see what we're doing. All right, so now we have our second quartile. We have our minimum and we have our maximum. We need our first. Well, what is our first? Well, we start with this. Basically, all of these numbers are the first half. So now we want to find half or the middle of the first half. That is our first quartile. How are we going to do that? Well, we're going to do the same thing that we just did. One way is you could just cross them off. Remember when I said you could cross them off? But that's going to take a really long time to just cross off, cross off, cross off. But you could do that if you wanted to. We counted them, and we know that there are 33 in each set because there's 66 total. So the first has 33. So you would take 33. We're going to do the median again. Okay, so we want to find the median. We do 33 plus 1 divided by 2. 33 plus 1 is 34 divided by 2 gives us, what is that, 17? Okay, so we're going to count 17 in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 204 is our first quartile. 204. How did I get that again? Well, I found half, okay? That's these numbers right here. And then I took half of half, okay? I took half of the first half. I found the middle number on the first half. Now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to count 17 from 239, or I could count 17 backwards. It's going to be the same number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16 is going to be 280. So 280 is our third quartile. All of this is in your book. You can follow along with me on page 271. It kind of shows you how to get those and where all those are located. Okay. So there's our 5-number summary. Okay. Now turn to page 270 or 372. 372. Now what we want to do is we want to put all of this information that we found on our 5-number summary, and we want to put it on what's called the Box and Whisker plot. I kind of drew a box down here, so this is kind of going to be our base chart here that we're going to use. It's a little bit different than the one in your book, but kind of the same at the same time. So if you will, go ahead and look at that on page 372. Now, here's what we want to do. If you look down here at the bottom, I have numbers 100 to 400. Why did I choose 100 to 400? Well, let's look back here. Because the smallest number, it's not 100. Okay, so I kind of went a little bit before that. And this one is not 400. I went a little bit before. I went a little bit after that. So I didn't want to like push them to where they were really close to the edge. You could have done 150 and 400. That would have worked, or 350 actually. But I did this. So what we want to do is we want to take, and I'm going to use green, and we are going to put the minimum number 169, and you just put it somewhere in the middle. Find where 169 is. So there's 150, right? There's 200. 169 is going to be right in there somewhere. Does it have to be perfect? No, it does not have to be perfect. To be honest with you, it needs to be close, and you could even put some lines in it if you needed to, some minor lines. Use graph paper or whatever to kind of get you close, but it does not have to be exactly spot on. Okay. All right. So now what we want to do is we want to put our maximum point on there. So let's go to maximum 350 or 349. So we're going to go to 350. It's just about at 350. All right. So we'll put it right there, right before 350. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to add our quartile points. So first quartile, 204. So right after 200 is 204. And then we want to add 238.5. Again, it doesn't have to be perfect. 238.5. We'll put him right there. And then 280. So coming down here. Oh, I don't know, right about there somewhere. Okay. Now, here's where, that's the 5-number summary. Now, here's where the box and whisker comes in. Now, what I would do is I would come over and I'll actually use a box and I'll change the color. We want to make, this is where the box and whisker part comes in. We want to make a box. We want to put our quartiles in a box. Okay? So just put a box on your quartiles. There's the box. Now, what are the whiskers? The whiskers are like whiskers on a cat. Like these are whiskers, okay? Mine don't grow like a cat, but you know, a cat has whiskers sticking out. So you go here to this third quartile and go to the maximum point. Then you go to your second quartile and go to your minimum point, okay? So those are your whiskers sticking out. One more thing that you do want to do is put like a little middle point here on the median of the thing, okay? Now, if you'll look at this and if you'll notice, our box is not centered. Like it's shifted. Like notice that, let's notice a few things. This is shorter than this. The first whisker is shorter than the second whisker. It's okay. This box is smaller than this box, and that's okay. Whatever your data shows you is what you're looking at. Now, here's the way that the 5-number summary works. It lets us see things like that. It shows us that, oh, so there's more people packed into this area, and this area is more spread out. There's like bigger gaps in it. So it just does some things. It shows us, it allows us to see certain things about the data. But that is the box and whisker. There's one more thing that I want to show you. The word that we use for the off-centeredness. Okay, so this one is off-centered to the left. See how it's heavier over here on this side, and it's more like stretched out over here on this side? Okay, so there's more points on the left side. Look, 3 points on the left side of 250. 250 is the middle, so it's heavier on this side. What that means, you're going to need to know this word too. It's skewed. S-K-E-W. And I'm going to write skewness because that's how they write it in the book. I don't know. I don't like the word skewness. I've never used the word skewness in my life before, I don't think, but that's the way they write it in the book. Skewed, we use that word quite often. So this one it has skewness, or it is skewed, and it is skewed left. So this one would be left skew. Okay, because it shifted, the points are more heavy on the left side. And it could be either way. It could be a right skew. If there's more points on the right half of the box, then you would be right skewed. But this one is what's called left skew. Okay? All right, that's about all I got for you in this lesson. Hopefully you learned some stuff there. If not, make sure you rewind it back, watch it again, find out what you missed. Okay? All right, we'll see you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.